I'm at Broadgate today. It's a great opportunity to reflect on some of the changes we've been making at Broadgate over the last few years. And I'm really excited by the effect, the impact, if you like, that those changes are now making on the way that people use this space and what it's doing in terms of driving different occupiers to come to Broadgate. Back in the 80s, when Broadgate was first envisaged, office workers did not expect so much from their environment. The world's moved on, and with it, Broadgate has to move on. So what we've been doing is really focusing on if you like, the other amenities that we can add to Broadgate to make it world-class in terms of what it provides. That's critical in turn because it helps to make the people who work here more productive, happier, and all those things. What do I mean by that? In practical terms, we know that a few years ago Broadgate was underprovided in terms in particular of food, beverage offering to people, and we've changed that already. We've changed that in terms of the circle, we've changed that in terms of pop-ups that we're putting in place to offer lunchtime food, for example. One of the things that's become increasingly important to us is that the way that people are working is changing. Where they work is changing, and that ability to be on all the time, to mix leisure and work, is clearly really important to many people. And so part of the task for us is to make sure that as that blurring continues, that we have great spaces outside the office as well as inside the office. What Broadgate gives is us the opportunity to do that on a really big scale, and you can see some of that opportunity here today. You know, what we're doing here in terms of enlivening this space. A few years ago we realised we had a really substantial opportunity at Broadgate. That opportunity was coming about for a couple of reasons. First of all, we were in the process of building a new building for UBS, which meant that they were going to migrate from several buildings into one. That meant that we had a chance really to adapt the space, make it different, make it more and more relevant for a slightly different world where people want different things from their working environment. One of the ways we did that, first of all, was to create the circle, which you can see is out here, is really quite different from perhaps what was at Broadgate a few years ago. So that was quite important. Furthermore, we've really tried to change the feel of the place more than just a single space. And finally, we've been working very hard to change the occupier mix. We've done that by working with different people, connecting with some of the other really vibrant areas around here. That's already proving successful in terms of more technology companies coming here, different types of companies, different sizes of companies. So a whole bunch of things which have really moved Broadgate on a long way from maybe where it was 5 or 6 years ago. What we're doing in Finsbury Avenue is also really critical to the future. If I start with 2 Finsbury Avenue, or 2FA as we now call it, what we're planning there is a hub for tech and fintech businesses in particular. And we're already making progress. We've already had considerable success in terms of lettings to Starling Bank, an app-only bank, and Innovate Finance. Another important part of the story is providing more flexible workplace, and that's where Story comes in. We've already let space to Kingfisher's digital team via the Story brand, and we're really excited to have that occupier here. These occupiers are benefiting from our expertise and services, as well as the wider campus offer. It's that wider proposition which I think is critical in attracting these sorts of businesses. So I'm lucky enough to come to Broadgate regularly. And at times like these, it's a great opportunity to reflect on what we've already achieved. I think we've made a real difference working with our partners GIC over the last few years to enliven the space, to add to the buildings, to work on what happens outside the buildings as well as inside the building. But it's also part of a journey. We're clearly on that journey, and over time we expect that to lead to a broader mix of occupiers, to have different people using this space 7 days a week, not 5 days a week. So the future is bright. It's a great opportunity.